What's up, everyone? Today is March 25th, 2020. In this video, I want to talk about some news coming out of England today, which this week just issued a 12-week stay-at-home order for all its citizens in light of coronavirus. We're being told today that a 21-year-old Briton from High Wycombe, Buckinghamshire, is said to have died from COVID-19 after having no pre-existing health conditions. Understand, COVID-19 is being used by the world government to take over as many parts of society as possible, and the media, which is literally no different than the government itself, is attempting to literally program you into fearing this disease, and thus fearing others, thus making you more willing to give up your rights. And you see this whole thing play out differently in different countries. Of course, Britain, a nanny state compared to many other nations, issuing a 12-week order. I'm in the United States, in Wisconsin. We just were told 1 month. And of course, this differs by nation. And the reason it differs is because the world government recognizes that citizens of different countries have different wills against losing their freedoms. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the riddle that lies underneath this story, which tells us that something definitely is being twisted here. And of course, the media pushing fear onto its citizens. In fact, the family of the deceased urging people to take this virus seriously. Let the world economy collapse is the message here. The first thing I want to mention is that her name is Middleton. And of course, in England, the Duchess of Cambridge is named Kate Middleton. We'll talk about her full name, Catherine Elizabeth Middleton, here in a second. Understand, this news comes the same day that we're told that Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, was also diagnosed with coronavirus. So there's a royal family riddle here. And now let's get into the numbers. So we're told her last name just happens to be Middleton, the same as the Duchess. Well, I want to point something out about Kate Middleton's full name. Notice how in Latin Gematria, a cipher very similar to English, placing more modern characters at the end, her name sums to 1163 in this cipher. In English Gematria, a cipher which is structured similarly but uses the current alphabetic order, coronavirus also sums to 1163. Furthermore, the name Middleton sums to 96 using the standard alphabetic order. This is the reverse value of corona in the cipher where Z is 1 and A is 26. These 5 ciphers on the screen, always the primary ciphers that I teach on this channel. The disease is called COVID-19. In the alphabetic order, COVID-19 equals 72. Kate Middleton was born on January 9th, the date written 1-9, like 19. Measuring from her birthday to the death of Chloe Middleton gives us exactly 72 days. If you look at the article here, we learn that this woman is said to have died on March 21st. And of course, she was 21 years old as well. We're being told that she's from High Wycombe, Buckinghamshire. Now, this city is more commonly known as just Wycombe. And we'll talk about the gematria of both High Wycombe and Wycombe. But check out Jewish gematria, where Wycombe equals 1,390. In numerology, this represents the number 139. Notice how the name Chloe Middleton equals 139. This is the same as the disease that killed her, COVID-19, also summing to 139. Notice how Chloe Middleton and COVID-19 share gematria in 3 of the 4 base ciphers. One of those numbers in our primary reduction or Pythagorean cipher is 67. 67 is the 19th prime number, dead of COVID-19, and again, Kate Middleton, born on the date 1/9. Also notice the ordinal value of the city of Wycombe. Here we see 86 and 103 in reverse. This is the same as the number 19 when you write it out. 86 ordinal and 130 reverse. And for a little icing on the cake, the name Chloe, also 86 in Jewish gematria. So when we write out High Wycombe, Buckinghamshire, this the name of the city that Chloe Middleton was from. There's a few interesting numbers here. We'll tap into a couple more of these in a second. But what I want to point out is the 1994 in English gematria. Remember, this story does come up to us from England. Well, if you measure from Kate Middleton's birthday in 1982 to the death of Chloe Middleton, notice how this was the first day of Kate's 1,994th week since birth. Again, a number found in the city that she's from. If we instead look at the gematria of High Wycombe, this gives us relations to the date on which this woman passed away. Notice these reduction values of 64 and 44 in reverse. On the date she died, we had primary numerology of 64 and standard numerology of 44. 64 and 44 are the gematria values of the word kill. 64 in reverse and 44 using the alphabetic order. Worth pointing out, her death took place 4 months and 4 days after the very first coronavirus case was discovered, patient 0 in Wuhan, China. So we're talking about this kill code. Very prevalent in the city, the date numerology, the gematria. Well, in Hebrew gematria, the word for kill gives us values of 19 and 244. Now, this is quite relevant because when you write out the number 19, it sums to 244. This year, the United States turns 244 years old, and again, this disease is called COVID-19. The Queen of England is Elizabeth. And notice how she became queen officially during her coronation, June 2nd of 1953. Notice how that was exactly 24,400 days before this girl is said to have died. Also worth pointing out, she was coronated in the year 53. COVID equals 53 in gematria. A couple other interesting things about the city, High Wycombe. We saw the reduction significance. Also notice the 118 in the alphabetic order. This is the gematria of death and homicide in Jewish gematria. High Wycombe in reverse equals 179. This is the gematria of Catherine Middleton, who this story is completely related to. 179 is a prime number. See how it's the 41st prime number? course, the number 19 equals 41. And in Hebrew Gematria, the name of this disease, COVID, summing to 41. And then also in Jewish Gematria, the city sums to 1422. This 422 sequence is the opposite of corona, which is 224. Speaking of the Gematria of corona, 66 and 33, this brings us to Charles, who was diagnosed with coronavirus on this same date, 66 and 30. The name Charles, Prince of Wales, even equals 212. Check out the reverse value of COVID-19. 212. But of course there's more. Prince Charles equals 220 in the reverse alphabetic order. Of course, this is the year 2020. It'll be remembered for the coronavirus pandemic, which equals 2020. Declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization on 11/3 or March 11th. Declared a national emergency on the date leaving 293 days in the year. Notice how Prince Charles equals 68 in reduction. This is the same as Chloe Middleton, 68. This is the same as COVID-19, 68. And we're told that Charles has coronavirus today, the same date as this article about Chloe Middleton, which is a date with primary numerology of, you guessed it, 68. Charles was born on November 14th of 1948, meaning that when Chloe Middleton died, he was 26,060 days old. Now, this is a really significant number to the Catholic Church, which, of course, the royal family is very close to. 266 degrees in astronomy represents the galactic center. We're currently under the reign of the 266th Pope. The Pope was sworn in on 3/13/13. This is the second, the sixth, and the sixth prime number, like 266. Well, anyway, this stood out because High Wycombe, Buckinghamshire, England, sums to, I'm sorry, without the England, we get a 266. And we're told she's a 21-year-old. 2660 in English. Pretty interesting. So there you have it, guys. More news by the numbers. The media just engaged in a high-intensity blitz to control our minds. It almost feels like they're losing this battle a little bit. They just put out a safer at home order in Wisconsin yesterday, and when I went out this morning, I saw more people out than I've seen recently, and I hope that trend continues. Remember, this disease is being grossly exaggerated by the media, and really the whole sham of it is given away in the testing. I mean, the whole idea of testing for this virus doesn't really make sense in the first place. You know, they're telling us that there's a 3 to 4% death rate on this disease, and this is something I've repeated several times on this channel, but these numbers are all based on the number of confirmed cases. Well, they're also telling us that many people will not experience any symptoms. And if that's true, that means that there's probably far, far, far more people out there who have no symptoms, who have never never thought to go get a test in the first place. So the idea that 3 to 4% of people are dying from this disease is grossly exaggerated. And in all truth, this probably isn't more deadly than the flu. I mean, I think there's a real disease, but as far as the causes of it or how severe it is, I have extreme doubts about what they're telling us. Before I end this video, I just wanted to share something that someone shared with me on Twitter. And this really blew me away. You know, especially when it comes to these big numbers, and we've talked for months about the significance of 666 in relation to the death of Kobe Bryant, the introduction of coronavirus. And thanks to Rodney on Twitter for throwing this fact at me, but this is really crazy. So we know the number 666 is significant. The magic square of the sun sums to 666. And remember, coronavirus is a play on words for the sun. The corona is the atmosphere of the sun. Well, check this out, 666. If we pull up this number and look at the properties, we find that the 666th prime number is 4,973. And I think there was something actually really significant in relation to Kobe Bryant's 666th NBA game and the date on which he died, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I gotta look this up. Maybe it was his birthday? Bear with me for a moment, guys, while I look this up, because I know I had a good post on this. Okay, there we go. So when Kobe Bryant died, he was 497 months and 3 days old. And 4973 is the 666th prime number. Kobe Bryant's 666th game is when he scored 81 points. His name, Kobe Bean Bryant, summing to 81. So if you multiply 666 times 4973, the 666th prime number, you get this really interesting number, 3312,018. Well, you could actually convert this to a date. Think 3/31/2018. Well, if you go from 3/31/2018 and fast forward 666 days, you get the date that Kobe Bryant died. Isn't that some wild shit? That completely blew my mind today when I saw this. And I'll be damned, look at the numerology of this date. 72 and 45. We were just talking about this. COVID-19 equals 72 and 45. Wow, yeah. There's definitely something significant about this date. This date here, 3/31/2018, I'm thinking this date might be a significant marker for events that either have already occurred or events to occur in relation to coronavirus in the future. Yeah, there's definitely something to this, and it's worth me digging a little deeper and doing another post for sure. So shout out to Rodney for throwing that fact to me and whoever else might have discovered it. That's pretty awesome stuff. So just wanted to share that at the end of this video, but the riddle that the British news is using to control the minds of its citizens, it's quite clear. It's all through the name Middleton, a story being released the same date as Prince Charles' diagnosis. And this is how the news is doing it all across the world. Remember, on the same date that coronavirus was declared a global pandemic by the World Health Organization was also the same date that we found out that Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson were the first celebrities to be diagnosed with the disease. It was also the same date that the National Basketball Association suspended its season due to the infection of one of its players. So they hit you with all these news stories at once. The goal is to really scare you and freak you out, make you afraid of the disease. The government's in a weird position. They have all these media outlets who are there to try and control your mind, but they have no way of enforcing these measures to stay at home and work at home. I mean, that stuff is crazy. So, again, it's just it's a serious cold, but allegedly it spreads like one, or even worse than one. And in human history, we've never been able to stop the spread of a cold. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks to everyone for jumping into the live chat. Shout out to Chigozi Truth. If you're looking for more numerology channels, check him out. He's definitely got some good work going on. So, all right, guys, that'll do it for now. We'll talk to you very soon, the next time we hear some crap about coronavirus. Peace, love, God bless. Talk to you next time. See ya!